Fame and money can be short-lived in the glamorous world of Hollywood. Numerous famous people have experienced severe financial losses and even homelessness. For example, actress Brett Butler, who won a Golden Globe for a performance in Grace Under Fire, struggled with addiction and ended up in a shelter for the homeless. Similar financial difficulties befell soul icon Marvin Gaye, who filed for bankruptcy in 1976 due to unpaid alimony and mounting debt near the end of his life. Despite her popularity, Game of Thrones actress Lena Headey disclosed that she had less than $5 in her bank account after a challenging divorce and financial difficulties. These tales are potent reminders of the unpredictability of celebrity and the value of sound financial management. Lonnie Willison. In the 1980s, Lonnie Willison was a gorgeous and up-and-coming celebrity who starred in popular TV series and movies. She immediately established herself as a well-known figure in Hollywood because of her parts in films like Riptide and The A-Team. Lonnie, however, was dealing with mounting personal issues behind the camera that would eventually eclipse her work. She developed a chemical addiction, and the strain of celebrity, combined with her addiction, started to wear her down. Lonnie lost attention as the number of role offers decreased and her problems worsened. She quickly experienced financial difficulty, which sent her into a downward spiral. Lonnie's life had taken a significant turn for the worse by the early 1990s, and she was living on the streets, homeless, and having a hard time making ends meet. Despite multiple efforts to start over, Lonnie's struggle with addiction kept her from achieving her previous level of accomplishment. Her narrative tragically serves as a sobering reminder that even the most prominent performers can suffer from addiction and mental health issues, and that stardom can come and go. Her heartbreaking end to a once promising career shows how brittle a celebrity can be. Amanda Patterson. Once a Hollywood rising star, Amanda Patterson had it all: a bright future, notoriety, and millions of fans' admiration. Throughout the 1990s, she demonstrated her acting abilities by appearing in several well-known television series and motion pictures. She stood out in the profession thanks to her endearing grin and innate acting skills. But behind the scenes, Amanda struggled with addiction and mental health issues, which subtly started to undermine her personal and professional lives. Due to her struggles with substance misuse and despair, Amanda's once glowing career began to fade, and her positions in high-profile projects vanished. Pressures increased as financial instability ensued. The beautiful young actress, who formerly enthralled audiences, was homeless and struggling with the psychological and emotional effects of her ordeal, in addition to the consequences of her career. Even the most gifted celebrities can be susceptible to the harsh truths of life. As Amanda's experience painfully illustrates, she'd previously led a life full of promise and optimism, but she lost everything she had worked so hard to achieve due to the relentless hold of addiction and mental illness. David Cassidy. David Cassidy's career took off, and his role as Keith Partridge on The Partridge Family made him a global celebrity and a teenage idol. His singing career took off with singles like I Think I Love You. His poster was displayed on innumerable bedroom walls. However, David's story is also among the most tragic in Hollywood. As the years went by, Cassidy's once famous career was tarnished by personal struggles, addiction, and unpredictable conduct. He suffered from substance misuse and the demands of celebrity. Cassidy experienced a string of unhappy romances, failed marriages, and legal troubles. He soon had to face the agonizing reality of his deteriorating condition after his financial security collapsed. Cassidy struggled with memory loss and grave financial issues by the time he was in his latter years. Millions of people once loved David Cassidy, but his terrible downfall led to his homelessness in his latter years. He was in a horrible situation as a result of his battle with alcohol and financial irresponsibility. The hard lesson that even the most adored celebrities are vulnerable to their inner issues, and that celebrity cannot shield you from life's challenges, was further reinforced by his tragic death in 2017. Jan Michael Vincent. The trajectory of Jan Michael Vincent's career was once unstoppable. He played a helicopter pilot in the classic TV show Airwolf in the 1970s and 1980s, solidifying his reputation as a Hollywood hottie. He had the world at his feet thanks to his charismatic and rough appearance, making him a celebrity. But beneath his good looks and career achievements, Jan Michael Vincent had a complicated personal life that would soon take center stage. Vincent struggled with drug and alcohol abuse, and his career took a nosedive. His substance misuse resulted in numerous rehab stays, legal troubles, and run-ins with the law. He experienced growing financial difficulties and personal grief as his career started to wane. After appearing on magazine covers, the actor had to deal with the hard truths of reality. Vincent's once bright career was in the past when he found himself living in a homeless shelter in his latter years. The narrative of Jan Michael is a potent warning about the perils of addiction and how personal issues may ruin a prosperous job. His quick fall from grace and terrible demise served as a devastating reminder that being famous does not shield one from life's most difficult challenges. Leif Garrett. Leif Garrett became one of the most well-known teenage stars of his period in the 1970s, thanks to his youthful good looks and popularity as a pop idol. He became a poster kid for the archetypal adolescent heartthrob, and his acting and singing careers appeared to be headed for success. Leif Garrett, meanwhile, was battling emotional problems behind the scenes that would soon eclipse his career. Leif's personal life started to go out of hand after he battled drug addiction from an early age and spent time in and out of rehab. After his struggles with addiction were made public, his career, which had previously been full of offers and chances, abruptly came to an end. The teenage celebrity who used to appear on magazine covers was now dealing with financial troubles, legal issues, and disintegration of his connections. Leif Garrett was left to face the brutal reality of life after stardom once his fame had diminished by the time he reached maturity. Leif experienced times of loneliness and homelessness during his decline from grace. His tale serves as a sobering reminder that even the most promising careers may be destroyed by addiction, and fame is ephemeral. Leif Garrett's hardships remind you that no amount of celebrity can shield you from the most challenging obstacles in life. Erin Moran. Erin Moran will always be known for her classic portrayal of Joni Cunningham on Happy Days, the lovable and naive younger sister of Richie Cunningham, who resonated with millions of viewers. She was loved by admirers worldwide and was America's sweetheart for many years. Erin Moran, meanwhile, found it difficult to adjust to new responsibilities once Happy Days ended. She soon lost the recognition and money that came with her fame. Erin struggled with addiction and money mismanagement due to her lack of consistent employment and growing personal problems. She struggled to find a steady job as she grew older, and her relationship started to suffer. Erin's life fell into loneliness and destitution when her work dried up. A far cry from the sparkle and glamour she had formerly experienced, she was compelled to relocate to a trailer park in the San Fernando Valley. Her experience serves as a sobering reminder of how fleeting celebrity is. Erin's life ended abruptly at the age of 56, despite sporadic attempts at recovery. According to reports, she'd been living in terrible conditions and dealing with the kind of homelessness that no celebrity ever anticipates until she passed unexpectedly in 2017. Her demise is a reminder that celebrity demands occasionally cause irreparable decline. Mindy McCready. In the late 1990s, Mindy McCready was one of the most popular figures in the country music industry, renowned for her stunning voice and successes like Guys Do It All the Time and 10,000 Angels. Her charm, talent, and beauty brought her broad recognition and a bright future. But beneath the surface, Mindy had personal troubles that haunted her life. Her relationships and career suffered as a result of her alcohol and prescription medication addiction. Despite her popularity as a musician, Mindy had ongoing legal issues, such as arrests and encounters with Child Protective Services. After a string of failed romances, she also experienced heartbreak, which made her despair and emotional instability even worse. Over time, Mindy's mental health deteriorated and her job stagnated. She ended up living in poverty and drifting away from her family. Unfortunately, Mindy McCready died by suicide in 2013 when she was 37 years old. Her sad tale serves as a powerful warning that even the most brilliant people can fall into the darkest corners due to the demands of celebrity, addiction, and personal adversity. Her passing profoundly affected people who looked up to her and served as a reminder that not even a celebrity can protect one from life's obstacles. Sugar Ray Williams. In the 1980s, Sugar Ray Williams was a well-known professional basketball player renowned for his on-court prowess and captivating personality off the court. He lived a high life and rubbed elbows with celebrities as a famous athlete, enjoying the benefits of wealth and fame. He was well regarded in the basketball community and had a career filled with outstanding achievements. However, a dramatic fall from grace resulted from lousy decision-making and the pressure that comes with celebrity. Sugar Ray Williams' life descended into disarray due to his battle with addiction and poor money management. He'd been living in luxury, but now he was homeless and had lost everything that had looked so safe. Unable to reclaim his previous success, he floated from city to city. His demise was a sobering reminder that stability and happiness are not assured by fame, fortune, or skill. It also draws attention to the negative aspects of celebrity society, such as addiction and personal difficulties that are frequently overlooked until it's too late. Sugar Ray Williams' tale illustrates a celebrity's brittleness and how easy it may fade into obscurity when obstacles in life take over. Bobby Driscoll. One of the saddest stories in Hollywood is the life of Bobby Driscoll. One of Disney's first big stars as a kid star, Bobby provided the voice of Peter Pan in the animated classic of the same name. He became one of the most popular child actors of the 1940s and 1950s due to his innate talent and bright-eyed innocence. However, as Bobby became older, he found it difficult to adjust to adult responsibilities, and celebrity demands negatively impacted his emotional well-being. Unfortunately, to deal with the emotional strain of a celebrity and personal hardships, Bobby resorted to drugs and alcohol. After showing great promise, his career ended suddenly. He experienced numerous legal run-ins, financial difficulties, and the breakdown of his personal life. Bobby Driscoll's star fell, and he was blacklisted in Hollywood by the time he was in his 30s. He met a horrible end in 1968 when he was discovered dead in an abandoned New York building at the age of 31. Bobby had passed away destitute, penniless, and alone. His tale serves as a chilling reminder of the perils of child stardom and how even the most gifted people may be destroyed by celebrity demands. Margot Kidder. The part of Lois Lane in the Superman movies, which made Margot Kidder famous and solidified her position in Hollywood history, won her widespread admiration. As a result of her fiery and perceptive interpretation of the iconic character, she immediately gained popularity among viewers. However, her gorgeous persona in the film was far different from her real life. Several personal and professional setbacks resulted from Margot Kidder's battle with significant mental health challenges, specifically bipolar disorder. Her unpredictable conduct, public breakdowns, and several high-profile episodes in the 1990s added to her mental health issues. Margot was once discovered destitute and faced financial disaster while living on the streets of Los Angeles. Despite her well-known career and acting accomplishments, Margot Kidder struggled alone. Her life was nonetheless tainted by personal issues, even if she eventually got assistance after briefly resuming acting. Throughout her career, she battled mental health issues, and she died in 2018. Margot's story is a potent reminder that fame is not a barrier against personal struggles, and that even the most successful people can encounter enormous obstacles. Lena Headey. Despite appearing in one of the biggest television shows, Lena Headey, best known for her role as Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones, experienced an unexpected financial collapse. In divorce court filings from 2013, she disclosed that she had less than $5 in her bank account and was having difficulty supporting herself and her little kid. She had to sell her Los Angeles house at a considerable loss, which worsened her financial problems. Her financial burden increased when she sold the property, which she had bought for $1.68 million in 2008, for only $1.34 million in 2012. Even though she eventually succeeded in buying a more affordable house in Sherman Oaks, her story serves as a reminder of how erratic Hollywood finances can be and how even well-known celebrities can find themselves in danger of going bankrupt. Eran the Blade Barkley. Known for his impressive wins over boxing greats like Thomas Hearns, Eran the Blade Barkley was once a dominant force in the sport. He was a fan favorite for a while because of his aggressive approach and unwavering resolve, and he briefly enjoyed fame, fortune, and an opulent lifestyle. But like many athletes, his problems started when his boxing career ended. After winning several world championships, Barkley had to cope with poor financial management, poor investments, and unsuccessful commercial endeavors. His opulent lifestyle gradually ended, and he soon had little left. He struggled to find a place to sleep and stayed at his lowest point in subway stations. His tragic tale demonstrates how life outside the ring can bring down even the most resilient combatants. His decline from grace warns about the transient nature of popularity and wealth in professional sports, even if he eventually receives some assistance from other fighters and the community. Barkley's narrative is a startling reminder of the harsh reality that may befall those who do not prepare for life after the spotlight, in contrast to the many other athletes who faded into obscurity. Natasha Lyonne. Natasha Lyonne was a rising Hollywood actress who starred in American Pie and Slums of Beverly Hills before being praised for portraying the witty Nikki Nichols in Orange is the New Black. Lyonne appeared poised for fame with her distinct charm and talent, but she was going crazy behind the scenes. A young Hollywood star on the verge of ruin, Natasha struggled with drug addiction, reckless behavior, and several arrests. She had significant health problems as a result of substance usage and was once evicted from her apartment. She became uninsurable in Hollywood, bringing her once thriving career to a grinding halt. As she battled her issues and the stigma associated with being a former child star who went awry, she vanished from the public spotlight. But unlike many others, Lyonne made a stunning return, demonstrating hope for redemption. Her comeback to popularity with Russian Doll and Orange is the New Black demonstrated her talent and tenacity, making her a representation of Hollywood survival. Her narrative is one of the few in which a famous person on the verge of stardom battles back and takes back their career. Willie Aames. Once a big name, Willie Aames captivated audiences as Buddy Lembeck on Charles in Charge and Tommy Bradford on 8 is Enough. It appeared that nothing could stop him from having a successful Hollywood career because of his unquestionable talent and all-American beautiful looks. Aames, however, battled the negative aspects of celebrity behind the scenes. He resorted to booze and drugs as his acting prospects diminished, which had disastrous results. He eventually lost everything, including his funds, house, and job. He was allegedly sleeping in parking garages, living on the streets, and having trouble finding food at one time. The decline was startling for someone who had once been a teenage idol. Willie's narrative did not, however, end tragically. He chose odd occupations, such as directing cruise ships, to change his life and gradually rebuild it. He is an example to many people today, demonstrating that one can rise again after reaching their lowest point. His journey from Hollywood celebrity to homelessness and back to stability is a story of tenacity and second chances that's both inspirational and cautionary. Danny Bonaducci. The life of Danny Bonaducci has not been typical at all. He became a well-known TV personality overnight after playing Danny Partridge on The Partridge Family as a child. However, his stability also ended with the show. In contrast to many former child stars, Danny's difficulties were widely known. He was a tabloid mainstay due to his struggles with addiction, legal troubles, and personal scandals. When he was at his lowest, he was homeless, sleeping in his car, and battling personal issues and failed profession. Bonaducci never gave up battling despite the difficulties. To stay in the spotlight, he rebranded himself as a reality TV personality and radio host, utilizing his frank storytelling and incisive wit. Despite his life's innumerable highs and lows, Bonaducci's tenacity has kept him relevant for many years. His tale is a prime illustration of how unpredictable Hollywood can be. One minute, you're thriving, and the next, you're fighting for your life. However, his capacity to change and stay a mainstay of popular culture demonstrates that comebacks are always feasible with the correct attitude. Even though his life is a roller coaster, he's learned to stay afloat. Dana Plato. Dana Plato played the endearing Kimberly Drummond on Diff'rent Strokes and was once America's love. But her life was falling apart behind the scenes. Plato was typecast and unable to land stable acting gigs, much like many child stars who failed to shift into adult roles. She went down a hazardous path of drug addiction as a result of the strains of her declining celebrity, financial difficulties, and emotional upheaval. She did odd jobs, including working at a dry cleaner to make ends meet, and in a last-ditch effort to get attention again, she even posed for Playboy. Unfortunately, her decline persisted. In sharp contrast to her once wholesome persona, she was arrested for robbing a video store. She made multiple attempts to recover, but her demon always followed. Dana Plato passed away at the age of 34 from a heroin overdose on May 8, 1999. Fans were devastated by her terrible demise, which also served as a sobering reminder of how cruel Hollywood can be. Her story is a tragic illustration of the difficulties child stars face and shows that security or happiness is never guaranteed by fame alone. Houston McTerr. At one point, Houston McTerr was compared to Olympic legends and regarded as one of the world's fastest men. In the 1970s, he startled the track and field community by running a 100-yard dash in an incredible 9.0 seconds, one of the fastest times recorded. He was born into poverty in Florida. He gained international recognition for his unadulterated talent and tenacity, and many thought he was bound for Olympic glory. His hopes were dashed, though, when the U.S. boycotted the 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow, preventing him from participating. McTerr found it difficult to support himself without the financial security that a lengthy Olympic career may have brought. He went down a dark path due to injuries, personal issues, and economic difficulties. He eventually lost his home and spent some time living on the streets of Sweden. With the help of the Swedish track community, McTerr eventually found some stability despite his struggles. His experience is a heartbreaking reminder that talent alone cannot guarantee success. He passed away in 2015. His ascent and decline serve as a reminder that even for people with exceptional skills, life may be erratic. MC Hammer. With hits like You Can't Touch This and Too Legit to Quit, MC Hammer dominated the charts and became a pop culture phenomenon in the early 1990s. He rose to prominence in hip-hop because of his dazzling dancing moves, iconic parachute pants, and catchy tunes. He amassed an estimated $70 million at the height of his success. But Hammer's expenditures were just as ostentatious as his theatrical appearances. He hired an entourage of more than 200 people, bought a $30 million house, and possessed dozens of luxury vehicles. Regretfully, his financial empire fell apart as fast as it had grown. He was so indebted by 1996 that he declared bankruptcy, claiming over $13 million in debt. His financial collapse was among the most startling in the music business, but Hammer remade himself. Unlike many who never bounced back from such a setback, he went on to become a businessman, a minister, and a tech investor. In an industry full of financial cautionary tales, his ability to rebuild is a remarkable redemption story, even though he never reached the heights of his 90s popularity. Marvin Gaye. With songs that resonated with generations and a voice capable of evoking strong emotions, Marvin Gaye was one of the most significant musicians of his day. His legacy in music history was solidified by hits like Sexual Healing, Let's Get It On, and What's Going On. But despite the ageless melodies and silky vocals, Gaye had a difficult life. Despite making millions of dollars during his career, he struggled with serious drug addiction, despair, and financial difficulties. He once ran to Europe to avoid the IRS because he owed so much in back taxes. He also had a turbulent personal life with several failed marriages and acrimonious arguments over money. His last years were unfortunate. His paranoia increased, his debts increased, and his addictions deteriorated. Marvin was shot and died on April 1st, 1984, one day before his 45th birthday, during a furious dispute with his father. His passing ended the life of a tortured genius and sent shockwaves through the music industry. Although Marvin Gaye's legacy endures, his life story serves as a sobering reminder that wealth and fame are not always enough to protect one from the most difficult struggles in life. Brett Butler. In Grace Under Fire, Brett Butler, once one of the most prominent performers on television, won over viewers with her witty banter and grounded appeal. Due to the sitcom's enormous success in the 1990s, Butler became well known. But behind the scenes, her life was falling apart. She struggled with substance misuse and grew more challenging to work with, exhibiting unpredictable behavior on set. Following the show's eventual cancellation, Butler's career took a sharp turn for the worse. Her finances dried up along with the roles. She used to make millions of dollars, but she couldn't afford her rent and ended up homeless. She admitted to living in poverty and depending on the kindness of friends and fans to get by in a 2021 interview. Her early success contrasted sharply with her decline in fame, demonstrating how easily Hollywood can abandon even its most talented performers. Even though Butler hasn't seen much lately, her story serves as a warning about how addiction and poor money management can ruin even the most promising careers. Her experience serves as a sobering reminder that fame never guarantees long-term stability. Rocky Lockridge. Rocky Lockridge, a formidable boxer in the 1980s, was renowned for his tremendous striking power and unwavering will to fight. He memorably won a world championship by knocking out Roger Mayweather in the first round. But even if he won in the ring, his struggles outside of it were much more brutal. Lockridge lost his house, family, and fortune when his boxing career ended due to drug use. He was forced to panhandle to make ends meet for years. His tale went viral when he appeared on Intervention and broke down in an unguarded and emotional moment. The video of him sobbing as he reconnected with his son went viral online. But beyond the hilarity was a heartbreaking tale. The harm to his body and health was irreparable, even though he was able to sober up later in life. He suffered a string of strokes and died in 2019. One of the most tragic tales in athletics is his path from world champion to homeless to eventually redeemed, demonstrating that even the most resilient athletes face life's most challenging obstacles. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon